Hello, this is Dara, and I'm a gender therapist in Colorado. My pronouns are, well, I prefer no pronouns if you could just use my name. Otherwise, you can use she, her. I went to a conference this weekend where at the beginning of each presentation, the speaker or presenter would give their pronouns, and I thought that that was a good practice to get into, so I'm going to do my best to do that as often as I can. So this particular video is going to be an update on some non-binary-ness. As many of you know, I do identify as non-binary, and I know that that's something that sometimes can be hard to find information on or to be able to hear other people's personal stories about what it's like for them to be non-binary. So I am going to share a little bit more with you about where I'm at because it's been a while since I've given an update. There are probably two things I'll talk about right now so that I don't make this too long of a video. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is what I have decided for now. Who knows, but when it comes to being non-binary, there's another word that I feel like even better describes my gender identity, or maybe even lack of gender identity, and it is androgynous. So this conference that I went to this weekend, that's how I ended up coming up with that realization. I heard the word androgynous used several times in several different workshops, and every time it was said, there was something about it that I know made sense for me. So I think one reason I haven't ended up connecting with it before is because the word androgynous, it's been around for a long time. I can remember when I was even a kid, there was a musician, there is a musician, her name's Katie Lang. As far as I know, I think Katie still goes with female pronouns, but Katie had an androgynous appearance, like people would label her. I don't know if she would label herself as that, but they would say, KD has that androgynous look. And so I think because it is a word that's been around for a long time and it's not one of the, let's say, the newer words like demi boy, demi girl, different things like that, I haven't been able to connect with those words. And I think I had to admit to myself that because I'm in my early 40s, it's okay if I use kind of an old school word to describe myself. And I feel like androgynous describes that place of being perhaps a mixture of both genders. And honestly, what I prefer to talk about is it has to do with masculine energy and feminine energy. And I feel like that is my description of non-binary, and that the word androgynous is able to encapsulate that feeling of having both masculine and feminine energy. And I also realized that my gender expression, it pretty much stays consistent now. There's a certain way that I express my gender and it doesn't really change. So inside, I feel like my gender identity stays consistent. My masculine and feminine energy tends to flow, but that doesn't affect the way I express my gender. So that's the update on that. The other thing I want to talk about is something that it's very personal, and I wasn't sure if I should talk about it or not, but I decided that I think it's important to include you in on this early stage of something I've been thinking about doing. So here goes. So ever since I was little, let's say when I started going through puberty, I kind of started going through puberty a little bit early, like started developing probably around age 10, and I have never ever been comfortable with having the size boobs that I have. And I finally am looking into doing something about it. So, not top surgery, but a breast reduction is what I'm talking about. I had to think hard about it and sort of visualize what would top surgery be like as opposed to a reduction surgery. And all I can say is that when I imagined top surgery, it just didn't fit. There was just something about it that didn't seem like that's really what I wanted or needed. And so because so chest reduction surgery would be both to help with a physical discomfort, like actual physical discomfort that I have, and also, of course, it will address the. I would say that's the if I could describe where I have the most physical body dysphoria, it would be my chest. And so this is something that I'm looking into. So, what I mean by that is that I have talked to my physician about it, and she said that she is going to start making notes, um, in her notes that I have begun discussing discomfort that I have with my chest size. And then next time I go in, which should be in a couple weeks, she's going to then, I believe what's going to happen next is she's going to send a referral to a local surgeon. So the reason she didn't do that during my last visit with her is because the person she usually refers people to for surgery, had retired, and so she wasn't sure who to refer me to. So I checked with a friend of mine who said that she had a friend who had chest reduction surgery, and so I asked for the name of that surgeon, and that's who I'm going to tell my doctor about. So as far as I understand, she's going to then refer me to that doctor so that I can then go get a consultation so I can find out some details about this and see what my options are. And then, of course, there's the insurance question. Will my insurance cover it? So I'm not sure at what point in the process I find that out. I think maybe after I talk to my doctor. I think she's supposed to put the request into my insurance. And so if this is something that my insurance will cover, then by all means, I think that will make it more likely that I would do it and do it soon. If my insurance won't cover it, depending on what I find out in the consultation, it might be something where I decide to do it, but then it might just take me some time to be able to save up for it. So there it is. I just spilled the beans. That's the other thing that's been on my mind lately. So I hope you get something out of these non binary updates. I think I'll give them a little bit more often because from what I can tell, there's a lot of you out there who either identify as non-binary, or you think you might be non-binary, or you might know someone who's non-binary. And I think there needs to be more discussion around this. And the more of us who speak out and share our stories, then the more you can feel like there's other people out there who are with you and who understand this. And also, it can help teach those who are not non-binary, teach them a little bit more about the experience. So thank you for watching, and please be sure to subscribe to this channel so that way you'll know when I do more updates. And you take care. I'll talk to you again soon.